Welcome. This is the Senior Safety Advice Podcast, and we are so glad that you've made it to a calmer corner of your day. Here, we focus on real solutions, practical help, and the kind of encouragement we could all use a little more of. So let's get to it.
Esther, how are you?
I'm fine, sir. How are you?
I am fine, never better.
Well, that's good to hear. I hope you're warm wherever you are.
I am warm. I'm in Southern California, which is crazy with our weather. You got to shorts and t-shirt nowadays.
I know. I know. It was snowing last week here, and today it's 72.
Where are you?
I'm just north of Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay, yeah, my parents are in Connecticut, and I'm a transplanted New Yorker, so I know it
Ah,
was snowing in Atlanta, yeah, recently.
what part of New York? I grew up in Brooklyn.
Okay, I went to NYU and I lived in Westchester.
I love that part of New York.
Yeah, it's
I
all
still
good.
I can't get rid of my Brooklyn accent completely.
That's a good thing.
I think so. I think
Yeah.
so. So, all right. So I'm already recording it. So all I'm going to do is just introduce you a little bit. Now, I want to know exactly how to pronounce your name. Is it Keon?
You got it. Perfect. Keon, like a key on something. And my last name is Sanei, 3 syllables, Sanei.
Sanei. What is that?
It's Iranian.
It's Iranian. Okay. That's okay. When my maiden name was Sicilian and no one could pronounce it. So,
Oh, really? What's your maiden name?
military. Like
Belleteri.
military with a P, but it's spelled completely different. So,
Belleteri.
military.
When I
Yeah.
was in New York, I played soccer for an Italian team, and it was a true Italian team, like off the boat. They didn't speak English.
Oh
And
no. But I bet you had very good food.
I had great food. I had amazing food.
Right.
And um, I also had like the guy who was our coach. I took a date out one night to this fancy restaurant, and he was a maitre d' and an opera singer. I'm like, what the heck? He came over to our table. He starts singing. I'm like, my God, I see you only on Sundays. And then he was an amazing cook. He invited us to his home. His wife like went to Italy because he invited the whole team, and he made like some weird, amazing food, like octopus or something. It was
That sounds very Southern Italian. Yeah, my
Are
mother
you,
and
so
father were born and raised in Sicily.
there you go.
So,
Yeah, yeah. So I'll
yeah,
tell you, do you have time for another funny story? You'll like it.
yeah, tell me.
I'll tell you a few Italian stories you'd love. So it was me, one American guy, and one Jamaican guy on this team. And the coach barely spoke English, but and the players barely spoke English, but at least they spoke.
Yeah,
But the assistant coach spoke no English whatsoever. So there was a time where the coach couldn't make the game, and I was playing, and while I was playing, I just heard my name in the background. Gia, Gia, Gia. Like every time I got the ball, you like Gia. And at halftime, I told people, I said, tell this guy to drink. Why is he constantly calling my name? I don't understand what he's doing. It's just not good. So they told him, and he said, well, I have to say things, but he doesn't understand me, so I'll just call his name.
oh my God. Oh my God.
So I told him, I said, please tell him to shut up the second half. He can't tell me anything, and he's just making me nervous.
Of
Because
course.
every time I got the ball, Gia, Gia. Yeah. And the guys, we had a guy, Cesare, he wasn't like Caesar or Cesare, and it wasn't like it was Vincenzo and Cesare and those guys, they were all Italian. And he smoked during halftime. He would smoke a cigarette during halftime, but he used to play on the AC Milan under 18 team. He was a great player, but he would just sit there and smoke. I'm like, Cesare, at least in the halftime, there's smoke coming out from our team. He goes, it's okay. And then I learned a lot from them. The funniest thing I learned was they would curse at each other and they would go at each other. And
Yes.
my background's Iranian, and if you did that, you would never talk to these, each other for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
But they telling you, I loved it. They were the best friends. They would say things to their mothers and their sisters and the fathers and everything in the middle of the game. And then we go out, they're like, oh, you want to go for cappuccino later? We're going to, I'm like, what the hell?
I thought you were fighting. I know. I know. My family is like that. Yeah. It
They
sounds
stopped.
like it sounds like they're arguing. It sounds like they're screaming, they're yelling,
It didn't
whatever.
sound like words. They were like,
Yeah.
I felt good about
Yeah,
that.
I know. Afangule. Yeah, Afangule.
One time I was running around and the ref goes, and then he puts a red card out. I'm like, there's nothing going on. What's a red card? I look back. Two of our defenders are going at it with each other. The defenders on our own team, they're fighting and yelling.
I know. I know that Italian temper is like, yeah, I always swore I was not going to marry an Italian because I mean, I grew up with all of that screaming and yelling. In my house, it was yelling and duck, yelling and duck. It was like, it's just a little too emotional, let's just say that. But I mean, they wear their
Passionate.
emotions on their, what's the phrase, on your sleeve or
Honestly,
whatever.
they're passionate. I love
Yeah,
Italians. I
very,
love Italians.
very
From there
passionate.
on in, I love Italians.
No, we're crazy. I gotta tell you, we're crazy. But
It's true.
the food is good, I'll say
Food
that.
is good. The people are good. Anyway, so
Yeah.
I thought I'd share those with you for
I
sure.
love the stories. I think those are great. Do you still play?
I do. I play like 3 or 4 times a week, even. I
Wow.
play more now than I've ever played.
It's an amazing sport. I mean, you don't need to do anything else than that for your health because, I mean, you're constantly running, you know,
Yeah.
but
And it's
as long
fun.
as you
You
protect your joints.
that's true. You got to protect your joints and also, you get injured from time to time. You got to keep going back.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the price of getting older. All right. So, Keon, how do you want me to introduce you? Because you have got multiple things here: education and care and Independa. What can I say to introduce you?
You just make it simple. Just say I'm the founder and CEO of Independa, and then just give the blurb on
Yeah.
Independa. That's fine.
All right. All right, everyone. I am so happy to have you here on our podcast or YouTube channel, however you're watching us or listening to us. I am so happy to be introducing you to the founder of Independa Incorporated. And I am going to let him tell you all about this amazing organization. It's Independa Health Hub. And if you haven't heard of it, you're going to hear all about it today. All right, Keon Sanei. Did I say it right?
Almost. You said Sanei. You got the 3 syllables right, but
Sanei.
yeah,
I forgot the
fine.
E. Sanei.
Yeah.
Keon Sanei. It's a beautiful name.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're
It's
welcome.
great to be with you, Esther, and with your audience. Um, let's see, what did you ask me? You asked me to tell about Independa. So, Independa is a software company dedicated towards providing remote engagement, education, and care, primarily for older adults, and regardless of the residence. So, they could be at home or they could be in a senior living community. Literally, we have solutions from the hospital to the home and everything in between. And the whole idea is to provide the opportunity to live where you are longer, safer, more comfortably, and delay or maybe even eliminate the next, certainly episode, but possibly entire stage of care. And who wouldn't want that?
Exactly. So how did you find it? What was the catalyst that brought this into fruition?
It's almost funny, but first off, on a personal note, my parents were taking care of my grandparents many moons ago. So the company was founded 17 years ago. And leading up to that, my parents had taken care of my grandparents. And I didn't think about it at the time, but everything is very manual, as you know. And so there were no tools. And when I was looking at the next big thing to do, and certainly the demographic was very obvious. We have a huge tsunami of the silver wave coming through our society and many other places in the world. But it was interesting to me the brand for technology for older adults, even 17 years ago, was guess what it was, Esther? And it still is. I've fallen and I can't get up.
I know. I wasn't even going to say it
Yeah.
because
So
it's
so
it's
that was
everywhere. It's ingrained. Yeah.
yeah. So that's kind of like a downer type of brand, but effective in that it got the point across. Also, the secondary brand was the clapper, clap,
Yes, right. Anything
clap on the
remote.
wall. So I was
Right.
thinking like, yeah, exactly. So I was thinking, there's a huge opportunity for technology to do a much better job for older adults. And, how come we haven't done a better job and what does it take to do a better job? And first off, is there a market? The market was absolutely there and it still is. And then second is market by that, I mean, is there a pain point? Is there a need? And really the need is between having someone who cares for you personally, your daughter, your son, your friend, your neighbor, with you when you need them. Doesn't have to be all the time and having no one or having a professional. So what if you don't have someone with you, but someone who loves you can leave something behind that brings you the world instead of, necessarily a home care person. And if you're in home care, then you can leave us behind because you're not with them necessarily 24/7, but you can actually engage and do things and allow the family to engage in really meaningful ways and again, bring the world to the person. And same thing in senior living. If you're in senior living, it's still challenging to actually engage with someone down the hall. So what if you can bring the menus and the work orders and the community calendars and surveys and broadcast messages, everything else in a unified way to this person that makes operations easier and their life easier and more, engaging.
Exactly. Now, the Independa service is really, it's a it's a TV. It's on the TV. So what made you decide to do it that way? Because I know a lot of things are apps or a lot of, I'm speaking to a lot of people that are doing a lot of motion, either apps or motion detection kind of devices. Um, so what made you think of, or your engineers, or however that came out that you're going to put it on the TV, which I think is a brilliant idea anyway.
Just a quick break. If you're hunting for meaningful holiday gifts for an older adult or a caregiver, I've rounded up my favorite ideas at seniorsafetyadvice.com/gifts. They're practical, uplifting, and perfect for showing you care. That's seniorsafetyadvice.com/gifts now. Let's continue.
Well, I appreciate that. Actually, it's almost too obvious, right? Because it has so many advantages, but it's also very, very hard to do. And when we did it, it was darn near impossible. So there's a few things that came to be. One is we actually had the world's first tablet for older adults, and literally, like when tablets came out, we launched at CES with a tablet for older adults with the application when people were just introducing the actual tablet. So it was a big hit. The
Wow.
reality is, though, we found that the tablets don't work. And the reason they don't work is, again, almost obvious, but we figured it out in the marketplace, which is the screen's kind of too small. The usage is not very user friendly. So you have to kind of hold the device if you want to engage with it. There's motions that not necessarily people are comfortable with. If you put it on a stand, some older adults actually had problems with the forearms actually getting tired after a while. If it's connected to batteries, so the battery's being charged, then it's really not mobile. So why do you have the small screen if it's not mobile? And if it's not connected, then it's on your lap or wherever it is, all the issues I mentioned.
Yeah.
Plus, if it's a dedicated system, it's very expensive as a dedicated system. And if it's a general tablet that you have as well, you just can download the app. Then, the son and the granddaughter and grandson comes over and they add their own apps and they do their own things and, or you drop it. So there's all these reasons why the tablet wasn't the right platform. Now, everybody, including myself, said, "Okay, we got to get on the TV, got to get on the TV." And what happened was LG, our partner, who was actually an early investor in our company, was looking for the best platform for healthcare and remote engagement and remote care, and they chose us. And we're very fortunate, and we've had a long-standing, wonderful partnership with them for many years now. And we then converted not just the application to go on the TV, but we redesigned it for the TV. And we've even redesigned it since then to get on consumer TVs. So it looks like a Netflix application on the TV or a
Yeah.
tablet. And you're very comfortable with that because if you have a TV or a tablet, you know how that looks. But also, we added it to a mobile device anyway, even for the older adult. So we always had it for children or staff, but now the older adult could be on a mobile app today. 17 years ago, that wasn't as prevalent. Today, a lot of people are on mobile apps, so you can use that. You can use a tablet or any computer or any tablet or LG TV or a Sony TV now as well. So we really take that whole question away of what do I have to engage with Independa? You can just do whatever you like.
Exactly. So walk me through it. So if I get the product, it's a product, the physical
It's a
product.
service. It's a subscription service. Yeah, it's
It's a
not a
subscription
physical
service.
device.
So how does
It's
that
not a
work?
physical device.
I get it. So I have it. I have my mom-in-law, that I'm going to be her primary whatever. And how does that work? Walk me through it.
Okay, so we're primarily focused on organizations. So if you have, there's all sorts of different ways that we engage with organizations to help them engage with your mom. But if you want to engage with mom directly, we make it super simple to be, giving and giving back. So you can go to independa.com and download the app. You could also go to the web store, the WebOS store on LG, and download Independa. In both cases, it's called the Independa Companion. Actually, you'll look for Independa, it'll come up. And you download the app. So then what does the app do? Let's say mom has a computer, so she can go to independa.com and launch the Health Hub. She'll get a whole bunch of features and benefits for free. So she'll get games for free. You'll get the ability to download our mobile companion for mom from iOS or Android for free. And then you could send her pictures, you could send her voice messages, you could send her um, uh, video messages, you could do video chat with her if she's on a computer. If she does it on a LG TV, you can add a USB camera and do video chat with her. All this is our own technology. It's all secure. I love the way you're giggling and happy about what I'm sharing.
Yeah, because I love the idea of the TV because it's so much easier for older adults. I mean, my sister is 9 years older than me, so she's in her 70s, and she just, every time she has to do a new app, she's just like, but the TV she can manage.
Yeah.
So I just love that idea.
And we consume things differently. People don't appreciate that. But as a TV consumer, we're sitting, it's big for macular degeneration issues.
Exactly.
It's comfortable. And, it's technology that we learned much earlier. So we're very, very comfortable with it. So if you add the camera, you could do all of the things I mentioned. On top of that, we have a really wonderful, we've called her Angela for over a decade now. We have a trademark on Angela as a caregiver. So we have an AI-based Angela caregiver for you also. And we actually call it Companion, Angela Companion. So you could chat with her as a friend. You can ask health questions. So it's really cool.
So is it like Alexa? I mean, can you ask it anything or it's all health related questions?
No, anything. You could ask
Anything.
it, you can ask it any kind of research question, philosophy question, chat about it, whatever you want. We use ChatGPT as an engine, but we add some other guardrails and health related things. And also we add engagement back into our interface. So like the first time you log in, it helps you choose the interface with Angela that you're comfortable with. So you can pick a different face. Itself, it's helping you, or itself, it helps you pick the voice that you like. And then it helps you make sure that your microphone is on. So if you don't have your microphone on, it sends you through that. So
Yeah.
it's a specific application for us.
I like that. I like that it guides you through. I mean, Alexa does that too, but it's very helpful, to go through that. And it sounds like Independa is constantly changing and growing. I mean, the fact that you're using ChatGPT, I mean, that hasn't been around for 17 years. So I love that. How else do you see AI impacting this service?
Well, it's already impacted us in a number of positive ways. This is a service that's customer focused, so it's easy to kind of explain that. On our engineering side, it's impacted us quite a bit in a positive way where we can do more with less and faster. I'll give you an example. We had a hospital patient education system that was written in a different code base, and it would have taken us probably 4 months to convert it into our latest and greatest code base. We actually took the time during COVID to upgrade our entire code system. So we wanted to do that with a patient education system. And we were never like able to come up with the many months to do that. And then we used AI, and literally within a week, we did the whole thing. So there's a lot of operational efficiencies.
Yeah,
And just for me personally, I use it all the time as heavy lifting things like if there's a market that we want to go after, it's like having an MBA from Wharton, work for you for 6 months and give you the answers. But it's not necessarily a snap of a finger. You have to engage and give it some really good direction and question some things and maybe run it through a few different engines and combine things. But at the end of the day, you could do all that.
sure. Yeah, we're not in the Star Trek era yet.
Not yet. We're
Yeah,
getting close.
we're getting
Getting
close.
close.
Yeah. Either we're getting close to computer on Star Trek or the Borg, where we're all like unified or whatever.
Yeah.
One or
One
the
other one
other.
other thing, Esther, one other thing to be clear also, we get a lot of data on people, like the response to games or how long they're engaged in different things. We ask some health related questions, so we have information that way. And so the AI helps us quite a bit in the background also to see if something isn't quite right. And not necessarily to diagnose, but maybe raise a flag and say, hey, daughter. I mean, there's simple things like if mom hasn't entered her health information. Like, let's say she hasn't stepped on a scale, or
Yeah,
let's say, things that are maybe minor one at
yeah,
a time, but
yeah,
with certain patterns, they become something that maybe you should look at.
exactly. Is it integrated with products like scales and blood pressure and whatever?
Yeah, so there's really four value props that we have. One is the social engagement, which is a lot of what we wanted to offer, society and certainly in America, everyone who wants to use it. There's a second one, which is organizational engagement. So I mentioned things like all the apps that are integrated in different companies and organizations. Third one is, and there's no order to this. Third one is clinical engagement. So that's where we integrate with devices and you have thresholds and alerts, and you can say things like, if mom hasn't stepped on the scale, let me know for 2 days, let's say. Or if mom, you could do all sorts of things. But normally those are reserved for organizations as well, because it's harder to manage that one consumer at a time. But an organization may say, I'd like to know if everyone staying with my short-term rehab community is stepping on the scale like we ask them to every day. And if they haven't for 2 days, I'd like my staff to be notified. So
Yeah,
there's a lot of interesting things. Or in home care, you could leave this behind and empower the family to manage mom from a distance. What if she steps on the scale and gained 10% weight in 5 days?
right.
Should be notified. So there's a lot of both comfort and really a peace of mind that you can give family members by being able to manage things more effectively.
Exactly. I mean, knowledge is, just having that piece of information can reduce a lot of stress and anxiety. It's not knowing that increases for the families mostly. So is it integrated with any telehealth services, like with the physicians or as of yet,
It
or is
is.
that yeah?
It is. So where we sit, Esther, is one level above everything else. So, for instance, you can have 24/7 access to a doctor, a dentist, or a therapist. And those are through our partnerships where you pay for that if you're on the system. But for second opinions, for emergencies, for after hours, for the underinsured, et cetera, there's, this benefit of being able to do that. So that's that. And it's all 50 states, and it's really a great service. It applied to me once. I had a really bad toothache, and it was a Friday, and I'd woken up at 1 in the morning, and it just kept getting worse during the day. And suddenly at the end of the day, I'm like, what did you do? Now you can't even see anyone until Monday. I'm
Right.
like, I know where I can go. So I literally went on Independa, and this wonderful dentist, he happened to be out of Riverside, as I mentioned to you before we started recording. I'm in California, so and he looked at it and he said, "Yeah, you're getting an infection," and he gave me antibiotics and went to the
Awesome.
pharmacy, and I started taking them the same day. And Monday I called my dentist, and she said, "Yeah, no need to come in." That's what I would have done.
Wow, that is awesome. I love that. I mean, just to have that relief, not the only relief from the pain, but also just the relief of knowing that someone is watching out for you, somebody with that education. Now, you mentioned about collecting the data, and as a user, I can understand how that can be creepy, as some people will say. But as a marketer, there's nothing better. I mean, because being able to provide what your target audience needs or wants, I mean, it's never been easier.
Yeah.
But at the same time, how do you protect that data? What security do you have for that? Or I know a lot of older people are just nervous. I mean, they don't even want to have an Alexa device in their home because, it's always listening or
Yeah, so Issa, that's an awesome question. And one of the design goals that we've had all along was that we designed it for ourselves. So, like, what would you like to see in an application like this, or what would I like to see? And so that means it's designing with the person, not for them. It's um, it's really all about not being patronizing and not being big brotherish. And when it comes to marketing, we have always, not even once as an exception, we tell people the data is yours. We don't sell it. We don't rent it. So, and we even went to great lengths. Now everybody has some video chat, but we actually created video chat technology very, very early on. Like ours was out before Zoom, where because of security, we wanted to make sure that we can control the fact that if somebody's using our system, somebody else does a market to them the next day and says, "Hey, listen, you want to travel to Bali with me? As long as you don't have a little bit of money, I would love to travel the world with you." So, unfortunately, a lot of the platforms that we're used to that are uh, not, we call them public platforms, but they're not really public, they're private companies. Um, they sell and rent and market to that data. And it's been super scary to see, like, if you open up a Facebook account and just give yourself a profile of being, let's say, 80 years old and put a picture up, whatever, and see how fast people are marketing to you all sorts of scary things. So yeah, we're very mindful of that, and we're very respectful and very protective. We're HIPAA compliant, and for us, that's really, really important.
it is very scary. I mean, I texted someone the other day, something about a liability insurance, the name of the company. And now I can't go on YouTube without that commercials for that company coming up. I have never seen a commercial for that company ever until I texted that information to someone. So yeah, it's a little scary. But as a
Which
marketer,
platform? Which platform were you on?
you mean as far as texting? Just my Amazon, I have a Samsung Galaxy phone and just on just a regular texting, just texted it out to
Yeah.
her. That's
So
it.
if I can give 2 cents as a side note, that makes sense because on an Android platform, you don't have the same level of protection on that data than you do on an Apple platform. That's the
Right.
difference. So
I
I've never
know.
had that happen. That's why I asked, because I'm on Apple. And I suspect if I'm on Apple texting to Android on the other side, it's probably the same. But if
Right.
it's Apple to Apple, at least I'm hoping, which is what their commitment is, that they don't sell that data.
Yeah. I mean, I know that about Android. But to see it, I mean, I'm telling you, it was within the hour. I was all of a sudden seeing commercials for this company going, I didn't even know they had commercials. And why now every time I watch YouTube, that commercial comes up. It's interesting.
Interesting.
I get it. I get it. So I love that this technology, I mean, I do a lot for senior care. As an OT working in, geriatric head injury, that is that's my thing. It's my skill set and I love it. Um, but I think this technology with Independa is across the board. It's not just for senior care. Do you find that your clients are more, what demographic are you seeing using Independa more than any other? Or maybe not. Maybe they're all equal.
It's not all equal. There's a lot of opportunities, and a lot of our success is based on what we say no to, actually, not what we say yes to, because like you said, it's just so much opportunity. Like I give you an example, prison systems. So if people, many prisons have TVs in the cells, and if you can bring telehealth and engagement and education, one of our partnerships is with WebMD. It's exclusively fantastic, where you get all this great content delivered to you, over 1,200 videos in English and Spanish in multiple categories and subcategories. You can do searches, so any kind of surgery you want to have. for yourself, for your spouse, for your child, for your neighbor, friend. You could learn about it beforehand. You can learn about recovery after. You can learn about how to, how to ask the right questions. It's phenomenal, and it's available to you. Um, so you could learn that in a prison cell, or if you imagine a doctor coming to you and having, an engagement right in your cell instead of having that person. Now, if you go to the doctor in the prison, then maybe that's fine. But sometimes you have to go to a specialist, and that
Right.
is super expensive. You have to have police guards and, different types of vans and buses and very expensive overtime coming and going for like a half-hour session with a specialist. Well, they can come into you. So there's a lot of that on that side, which we haven't done, but the right partners, if they hear this, they can run with our application and do that. There's other things like, really generally speaking, Esther, the delivery of healthcare and engagement into the consumer's home. And that's not about older adults. That's about how do I have a platform, not one silo versus another versus a third. And they can all be included, but having the same common interface, the same usability. There's two things about us. It's engagement in a holistic way that I've mentioned, and it's also simplicity. So how do we make things simple so you don't have to learn different things and get stuck and be universally available on different platforms? And we're having conversations with entire governments around that. So it's not just the older adult. It's like imagine if like let's say for Medicare or for Medicaid or the government of some country somewhere in the world that wants to have a better way to engage their consumers, their citizens, educate them in health, be there quickly if they need to, if there's an interaction that's needed. Imagine a pharmacist, for instance, being able to have a conversation with someone because their pills maybe are not working well, or maybe they're old and they can't figure out the color difference. There's lots of ways that having a secure, holistic engagement is really valuable.
Exactly. And I mean, nowadays, with more and more homes becoming multi-generational, I can see how getting a platform that's simple and easy for, all the generations living in that home, the new mother, the senior parents, maybe a disabled son or somebody with some chronic illness, all living under one roof, and they can all use that Independa, not the apps and the website and the service itself. I think, absolutely. I just had a talk last week, I think, or maybe the week before, with someone who contacted me from Nigeria. And what's happening in Nigeria, according to him, is that so many young people are leaving because there's no work in Nigeria. So they're moving to other countries, but their elderly parents are still in Nigeria, and they
Yep.
don't have the infrastructure in Nigeria at the moment to take care of these people. So he was looking for marketing help, whatever information on, he's building like an adult daycare type of program along with caregivers that can go out and take care of these people while their children are, in other countries earning a living.
Yeah, that's a great example. If you want to have them get in touch with me, maybe we can help in the sense that adult daycare is another great example. You're taking care of someone, let's say 9 to 6 or 7. Then they go home. And
Right,
when they go home, what if the individual can't afford to come to you every day of the week? Maybe they're
right,
coming 3 days a week. Well,
right,
the other 4 days a week, they may still be alone. And
right.
if it's a weekend, maybe the daughter has to go out to a gathering or maybe shopping and whatnot. Now, if the daughter has a better holistic way to engage, their parent, that's great for everyone. And also, if the daughter can send and propagate the application out easily to everyone else, the other siblings and somebody else living across the country or the world, and they can send messages, they can see mom, they can chat with mom, they could send an audio file, video file, all of that. That's really, and then we have something called life stories, by the way, Esther. So you can capture someone's life in audio files, and they answer questions and you capture their wisdom. You could share that, and all that complements something like daycare, complements home care, complements senior living.
Exactly. What about, I had two people that I spoke with. I speak with a lot of people all over. I had a woman in Australia who teaches older adults, only older adults, French, how to speak French. And she does that online. So that's an online leisure activity, let's say. And then there's another woman, and I think she's in Massachusetts. I can't recall, but she teaches art online.
Okay.
again, to older adults. So what about leisure services like that? Is that integrated into Independa as well?
It is. We have a great partnership with a company called Spiral 100. They do exercise videos for older adults. So
Okay.
that you have all these videos you could search by category, seated, standing, laying down, agility, flexibility, strength, whatever. And you can find the right videos with the right instructors that are teaching you. So you could do that right again on your big screen TV or a tablet or whatever. Also, if the individual then wants to use our platform to engage with someone, they can do delivery of different things too. So it's yes, video chat, but they can also deliver content. They can deliver PDF. They can do surveys. They can ask people a bunch of questions. They could do broadcast messages. So if it's a platform that they're using as a business, not just, let's say, daughter, mother, then they could do a survey to everyone. And they could have multiple categories and groups. So they could have females versus males. They could have younger older adults versus older adults. They can have people in different categories of French, and they could gear their content that they send, the videos. They could gear the surveys that they have. If they were in senior living, they could gear their menus, let's say, so you could have a diabetic menu and diabetic videos and diabetic surveys.
Sure.
In fact, two things. I saw there was a thumbs down that happened when you were chatting. I don't know if you saw that. I don't know
Oh
why that.
yeah? No, I saw
No, no,
something, but
no. On my side, so I
oh.
don't. It just I wasn't moving, but somehow. Let's see if anything happens. So no, it just has a mind of its own. But the other thing is
Yeah.
offline. I'm happy to help you, Esther, in any way. If you want to use the platform for your own people, you could sort of give it and have a central way of managing it, similar to what you're saying in Australia. But if you have all these contacts and people that you want to have a universal way of engaging, happy to chat with you.
All right. Yeah, I absolutely love that. I mean, wheels are already turning, like thinking about how. So, what trends in senior care do you see? Because I know in America, my family's all in Sicily and Italy. So we're the only, black sheep that left the country. My parents left. But what trends do you see? Because in America, I know that healthcare is a business. And the purpose of a business is to make a profit, to make money. So it doesn't necessarily focus on preventive care or anything, which I see these, Independa doing. That's basically what it is. So do you see those trends in senior care evolving as 10,000 plus people a day are turning 65? And this year, 2026 is the first year that the oldest boomers start turning 80, which traditionally speaking, 80 is when things start, happening, you need surgery, chronic illnesses, whatever. Although people are living longer, and so there's so many changes coming up. So how do you see trends affecting Independa in any way?
Sure. I'll just share a quick anecdote, a joke in a way. I have two good friends. Through the years, I've known them both probably close, in one case, over 20 years, and the other case, about 16. And they both recently turned 80. And they both separately, they know each other through me, but they're not friends or they don't talk. And they both separately told me, Keon, 60 is a new 40, 70 is a new 50, but 80 is 80.
Yeah.
That, that
Tradition.
was that
Yeah.
was your point.
Yeah, that was my point. They are right on the button. I mean, I have friends there too. I'm 67, so I have friends, in this age range and further up. And yeah, they all tell me, yeah, something happens when you hit 80. It's just your
I
body,
don't know.
it's not your body anymore. So, and I've read that too. So I know that things start, happening. So obviously, as a provider of this of Independa, founder, I'm sure you guys are always looking a year, 2 years, 3 years ahead, if you even can with AI anymore. Although it'd be interesting to see how what prompts would allow AI to give you that future predictions. But
So for us, what's really important is what we started out from the outset, which is engagement. So what does it mean, engagement? I rattled off a whole bunch of different things that we've unified in a
yeah,
simplified way. So that's important. And so like AI is a good example. 3 years ago, we didn't have an AI companion, but now we do, and it's necessary to be a part of that. I think engagement is one. The other one is the simplicity of the screen, so to speak. So it's still a screen, and the interface is audio, and if you want to type it, and we use a remote control from LG, so you can click on it, or Sony. In the case of LG, you also have a cursor with it, so you can actually click on it like a mouse. But I think to answer your question, over time, I could see holographic images. I could see, things that you wear, glasses that put the world in front of you. And so we have to be agnostic in terms of how simple is it, not
Yeah.
how gadgety, how simple. It's
Yeah.
got to be. If it's not simple, it doesn't mean anything. And also, how effective is it in what we're trying to do? Does it make life easier? Does it make life more meaningful, more fun? So for us, it's all about doing fun things with games, and we have daily words, daily jokes, daily did you know what happened today? We have a daily quote. So we want you to come in and engage and have fun, and then friends and family get to be more at peace with you and at have peace of mind on what you're doing, and you get to enjoy life more. Especially if the car keys are maybe taken away, maybe you're in rural America, maybe healthcare, and we're not a healthcare company. We're all about health and wellness. We allow you to stay where you are longer, safer, more comfortably, have a better quality of life, preventing things. But we can't say that we're a healthcare company because we're not a clinical company. We don't want to be a medical company.
Right.
Because then otherwise, you're just one little silo, to your point about a billing code and a broken system that we're all in, with sick care. And we don't want to be that. We want to be this.
Yeah, and I think that's the only way, really, to provide that service. You do kind of have to be on the outside of it. You can't be in it because if you are, then you just become part of the wheel. But you do
It's
have to
funny
be
you
on.
say that. It's funny you say. I literally, before launching Independa, I went to a library. Back then, there were physical things called bookstores and libraries. And I went to a bookstore. It was a B. Dalton's, I think, and I bought a whole bunch of books in this
Yeah,
category. And my favorite one was Christensen's Innovator's Prescription. So he had my favorite book was Innovator's Dilemma from before, and then Innovator's Prescription was all about our healthcare system. And it scared me silly as a consumer to realize all the things he was sharing. But his whole summary was exactly what you just said, which is the system is so broken, and he
yeah,
showed why, that it will never fix itself.
right.
And if you want to be in the system, just go on the edge and help people on the edge because there's so much opportunity on the edge.
It's true. I mean, ever since I opened up, the Aging in Place directory last year, I mean, I am meeting people with some of the most amazing services and products and things I'd never even thought of. And it's so interesting to see this entrepreneurial revolution, I guess, happening, because of AI and with AI. It's going to be very interesting to see the next few years of how all of this develops, because for sure the demographic is there. I mean, these are people who need the services, and boomers are used to having services, so yeah, we all want that.
Yeah.
So as the CEO and founder of Independa, how do you foster that sense of innovation and empathy? Because I mean, you're kind of straddling both your technology and your health, wellness. So it's not one or the other. It's really the beautiful combination of both. So how do you foster that in your team or your staff, or I don't know what you call them,
Yeah,
employees?
it's their staff, the team, our tribe. You put it interestingly between technology and what was it, the other word you used?
Wellness.
Wellness. Okay, so interesting. So if I were to superimpose those to the two words I use, technology is really the engagement side. How do we have a platform that's person-centric, that does, all in one, 360, whatever way you want to explain it, that you go to one place. But then the wellness is the simplicity because
Yeah,
it's not about feature function benefit. All that could be cool, but if
yeah,
it's hard to use, and so the empathy that goes into simplicity, the
yeah,
respect that goes into simplicity is all about how do we affect change and how do we make your life better? And if we don't respect you in a way that we design something that makes it simple and easy for you and engaging and fun, nobody pays us to do a word of the day or to add games or to have, all these cool things or to do life stories. There's a
yeah,
whole industry of people that charge you for that. We
yeah,
include that because we think any way we can help you have a better life makes us better, makes you better, and you enjoy things more, your friends and family enjoy things more, and then we can help the organizations who are using us to be more efficient, to be more effective, to be operationally better. So it's really a price of admission is to be engaging in your wellness, engaging in your health, and then everything else happens after that. If you start with that, in my opinion, you don't get anywhere. And that's partially, by the way, Esther, because a lot of health applications don't have compliance. And the reason you don't have compliance is because you're not engaging. And the reason you're not engaging is because you're not fun.
Right.
So if you can make an application or a platform fun,
Right.
then respect the person. They're going to want to do something that's fun. If they're not engaging, it's on me. It's not on them.
Right. But in addition to the fun, I think what you guys have done or are doing is that you're making it so
Yep.
integrated into daily life. You know what I mean? It's not an additional thing to do that to remember to do. It's the thing to do. With video chatting, with telehealth, with connection to products. It's the place to go. It's sort of like Googling it. Everybody goes to Google, you just Google it. Well, now, AI chat is taking that over, but it's like that. Now it's just go to Independent will do it. Independent will do it. So
Yeah,
I
you take a
love that
hearing
it becomes
test.
integrated.
You could do a hearing assessment right on the platform. So if And
Wow.
and and if you need something for your hearing, our partners can sell you the hearing aid at Lucid Hearing. We have partners that provide lab tests into your home. So if you want to buy something, you can buy it and it comes to your home. So we have a pharmacy discount card from Capital RX, our partners there. So we have an ecosystem of wellness benefits that again are curated. So we're not buying your thing. Like if you come and say, I'm interested in that, and you go do the service, you don't get ads from someone else. It's respectful to try to give you these services, as simple and effective way as we can.
Is there anything that it doesn't do that you want it to do at this point?
It doesn't brush your teeth. It's a,
Doesn't
no,
put you to bed.
I would like to add transportation service partnership or ships, but at least one. Food delivery, that's a big thing as well, and veterinarian support. Those are the three that I think would be helpful to the demographic. We just haven't done it because we're busy doing so many other things, and also, frankly, we do so much that nobody ever does anything close to us. That adding those three doesn't really buy us anything. It's just the right thing to do at some point. We want to do that.
Right. It would be a more complete service. But you're right. When you have 38 things to do that day, it's hard to add another one or two others, or I get it. I
Yeah.
get it.
But to answer your question candidly, those three I think are still important to add at some
Yeah.
point. It's
Yeah.
just we don't get any brownie points for them no matter what. It's like adding another game. We have a bunch of games. We can add two more games that we think are fun. Nobody's going to not use us because we don't have them.
Yeah.
And no one's going to use us maybe more, I would think. Maybe some people might for the extra two. Same thing with
I
those
think
three.
so, especially the food delivery, because that really is an issue. I know my mom-in-law lived to 102. And that was
Nice.
the hardest thing for her near the end, 98, 99, 100, and so on, is getting the food, because it was just difficult to go and pack it and bring it home and unpack it. And it was just a lot easier for her to get it delivered. As she used to say, like we used to do when I was a kid. I said, yeah, okay. Only this time it's not in a wagon, it's in a car.
Yeah. Well, now it's in a robot too. It just goes out in a robot.
I know, I know. Well, if Elon Musk has his way, yeah, we'll have our robots for sure. So you also host a podcast, Keon's Kiosk, is that true?
Yeah, it's true.
So tell me
We haven't
about
done it
that.
recently. I just have so many contacts and people that I respect tremendously that I've known to be really instrumental in healthcare, in different parts of healthcare. So we put together this series for me to get a chance to sort of memorialize my respect for them and admiration for where they were, how they did what they did to get us to where we are. And so I really enjoyed interviewing them and memorializing that. We're probably not going to do the same format going forward because this was literally like only six. but each one was like a deep dive with people that I've known, and like the person who kind of essentially started digital health, the person who started PACE programs in America,
Yeah.
the person who was the head of all of healthcare for older adults in America in Kaiser Permanente, and person who essentially leads the CCRC at home or life plan at home community, I don't want to say revolution, but really momentum that they have. So there's a lot of admiration that I had for these folks. So it was my way of memorializing that. But we'll do some more things.
I love that. It sounds like, do you watch the YouTube show Diary of a CEO?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Actually, I
sort of
do.
like that. He interviews these very influential people, but they're not famous. It's not
Yeah,
like
yeah.
someone you heard of. But yet, when you listen to them, I mean, they know their stuff. They are in it, and they are all about whatever the topic is for that particular show. And he
Exactly.
has these,
And he's
yeah,
such a great interviewer.
he is a great interviewer. I mean, talk
Because he's
about deep
curious.
dive. Yeah.
He's curious.
Yeah, he is. And he's actually interested in all of these topics. It doesn't matter if it's economics or if it's nutrition or technology, he's very fascinated by it. So that's what makes him such a good interviewer. But it sounds like that, like Keon's Kiosk is like that. You're interviewing these very influential people who really have their head in that industry or niche or whatever. But yet it's not like they're famous, they're on the news,
Yeah,
or, well,
exactly.
anybody
So
would
for
be able
someone
to.
who's interested in the topics, they all, I would say, are both engaging and informative, and also I think a little bit um, just positive in terms of how somebody could make such a difference. And like you said, we don't know them, but like Dr. Jenny Chen Hansen, who started Unlock in the San Francisco area, which was a very special health program for primarily Chinese Americans.
Yeah.
And the program was so successful, it was getting some special dispensation from the government for Medicare and Medicaid to keep them in the homes. And that became the PACE programs that we have today. So she basically started legislation and she's done so much more since then, so many titles, and the humblest, nicest, most, engaging, wonderful. And every one of those guests is like that. So
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
I love that. I mean, the fact that you have that in your sphere, I think is beautiful. How do you stay grounded? With all of this going around you and happening and all these changes and all these needs and not only the demographic changing, but the technology changing as well. And systems, I'm sure, are changing, everything from government to local to whatever. How do you stay grounded? And by the way, I think your staff, your tribe, your team are very fortunate to have you.
I appreciate that. That's very kind of you. I'm grounded because we're all the same and we all do the same things and we're all shooting for the same things. And basically, humans at some level, we just want to have safety and some opportunity and some future for our children if we have any, and at the really basic levels. But I think maybe a different question is how do I stay somewhat sane instead of grounded?
How do you do that?
That's tougher. That's tougher. Um, I was just actually telling someone, past couple of years, I came across this saying about your greatest challenges are dreams for someone laying in a hospital bed.
Mm.
And and when you think about that, whether it's like big challenges or daily challenges, they really are nothing compared to like health issues and the fact that we can walk around and breathe and, wake up and do things. So gratitude is a big thing that, I practice all the time. And it's easy to be grateful when things are going your way, but when they're not, that's really hard, but you have to do it. The other thing for me personally is I love what I do, so it's not work. So it's, and I can't say to everyone this cliche of, oh, if you don't love what you do, find, I don't know, it's hard. Sometimes you got to go make money and all that. But for me, I love what I do. I love the people I work with. So I'm equally fortunate with that tribe. It is a tribe. And I have a lot of people I work for. I work for the people in this company and my shareholders and our partners and our customers and, my children and everything. So but you have to love what you do.
Yeah, because then it truly is. You have to love what you do because then it's not work. it really is. My friends are forever telling me, Esther, when are you going to retire? And I'm like, I am retired. I mean, this is
Exactly.
it. I'm enjoying everything that I do.
Yeah.
You like to travel to China or wherever, but I like doing this. This is
Maybe
my
I'm retired too, the way it's going.
yeah, well, it's okay. It's good. It's
Yeah.
good because at the end of the day, you can lay your head on your pillow knowing that you helped so and so or you did this or it's very fulfilling. And I think that's so very important as you get older. So
And
very
doing your best, doing your best. If you do your
that,
best,
that's
the
it.
outcome is going to happen or not happen. But if it's your human best, which
That's
is saying a lot because a lot of us don't do our human best. But if we do our best, then the rest is whatever it is. And then you just enjoy the moment.
that's very stoic of you. It's true.
It's true. And it's true.
I want to thank you. Stay on the line, but I want to thank you so very much. Everyone, I know that you learned a lot on this interview, and I cannot wait to publish it and post it. If you have any questions or anything, what is your website again, Keon?
It's independa.com, independa.com.
There you go. Please check out independent.com because I don't think there's anything except for maybe brushing your teeth that little program doesn't do. And I definitely am going to be checking it out and writing some more about it. Thank you so much, Keon. I
You're
appreciate
very
it.
kind, Esther. It's my pleasure. My pleasure.
Thank you.
This podcast is part of our mission to help older adults live safely and independently. If you'd like to take the next step, visit aginginplacedirectory.com, where you'll find specialists, helpful resources, and inspiration to make every home your place to thrive.